What up, QC crew? Today we have an anonymous message here on King's Anonymous.
Run it up for sure. Your bitch gon' not know when it's up. Run that shit, we at all the show. Say that shit for your camera roll.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey King Day, I'm 31 and my wife is 32. We've been together for over 2 years and married for 4 months. We both brought each other out of depression. I was lonely and a workaholic when I met her, and she had alcoholic tendencies and abandonment issues with her mom. Throughout our relationship, occasionally she would get drunk and talk shit, hurting my feelings. We would talk about it and move past it, but I think it has affected my desire to be physically intimate with her. Before we got married, she got a DUI and decided it was time to make a change. She has remained sober for the most part unless we were on vacation and I was in charge of cutting her off at a predefined limit. We haven't had a problem with alcohol in about a year. Throughout the clarity and sobriety, she is noticing my disinterest in sex. I don't mind pleasing her, but it's almost like I'm never in the mood for her to return the favor, and I really don't get aroused, which is completely different from the past. I honestly don't know what to tell her. I don't get turned on as much anymore, but I still love her and I want to be with her. To be honest, I'm not even sure what's wrong. At first, I thought it was because of our past drama, me thinking too much about the things she said and internalizing. But I've noticed it's not the same when I try to handle business on my own either. What should I do? Should I tell her? I don't want her to feel like it's her fault or I'm not attracted to her. I was thinking about going to a doctor because Google said it's female erectile dysfunction, or maybe a sex therapist. What are your thoughts? Thank you. What's up, anonymous messenger? Thank you for your anonymous message. Now, first, I would like to say the conversation definitely needs to be had between you and your wife, okay? I think you guys should definitely communicate about the sex. And honestly, a good way to bring this up, I think, would be maybe like in a game. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've ever seen on like Instagram or even TikTok where they will have conversation starters for people who've been married for a certain amount of time or just in a relationship for a certain amount of time. And the conversation starters, they're typically pretty serious. Not too long ago, me and my wife actually had one of these conversations where we turned it into a fun game. But it was a way for us to get a little bit deeper with our connection. And I remember one of the questions being, what is the hardest truth that you had to accept about us? Because you will be presenting this game to your wife, you then will have the advantage of picking and choosing the questions, picking and choosing when to start that conversation or have that conversation to lead up to you revealing to her that you have no sexual desire. Right? So, of course, you may not want to start off with that because this conversation may be a heavy one. You guys may be able to resolve the problem. The situation might get a little bit worse depending on how open-minded or willing your wife is to accepting this information. Or you guys both may figure out that therapy is something that you guys may need. You know, whether it's a sex therapist or maybe if it's something you guys need to handle in your relationship that you're actually not aware of until you sit down with the therapist, or maybe it's just some internal things that both you guys need to figure out in order to get to that step of having sex regularly or just having good sex at all, or just even wanting to have sex, okay? Bump if it's good or not, just the fact of even wanting to, you know, that may come out of your sessions. So if you decide to do the game, you know, if you decide to have the game again, you have an advantage in this game. You can write a lot of different questions on a sheet of paper and let her pick them however you want to do it. And then you can bring up a question. It can be the one I just gave you an example of. What is the hardest truth about our relationship that you have to accept? And when you ask her the question, she answers. And part of the rule can be whatever question you answer, I answer. And that's when you can bring up the sex. If you and your wife are not into games, that's just not y'all thing, you know. Again, y'all probably like, damn, King, you always want to have a damn date and have a conversation. But that's the best advice I can give to a person because that's how I handle some of my issues or some of my problems or my concerns. The first thing I think of is, let's try and get in a setting where everybody is comfortable and it's not a lot of tension, So I like to, have a date. If it's something important I want to talk about, need to talk about, I want to have a date. I want to go on a date. I want to see where your mind at first. I want to see if it's the right time to even talk about what I'm talking about, if it's not a major concern in the relationship or a major concern with my mental. I want to see where my partner at. So how was your day? How your week been? How you been feeling? How you this? If everything seems to be at a good balance, then I hit you with the boom, pow, bang. That's just how I like to approach situations. And you guys may be different, but the first piece of advice I can give you is to have that conversation with your wife. Y'all have elevated from girlfriend to fiance. Y'all are married now. Y'all are a union. And I think you should sit down and have this conversation with her. Okay? Whether you bring it up during a game, or you just say, hey, babe, we need to talk. Now, don't have stuff lingering on her mind all day. Don't tell her, we need to talk tonight. Tell her when it's time to talk. Like, hey, can you step in here for a minute? We need to talk. Depending on how that conversation goes, because you never know. Y'all might be able to release some stuff. You never know what your partner is thinking or how your partner feels. That will trigger something in you, and that light bulb comes on. And you're like, whoa, I didn't even think that this issue can be the reason for this issue. But honestly, we throw a go to counseling and get a therapist. We throw that out a lot as if it's affordable for everybody. So I don't want to keep saying, go see somebody, go get a therapist, go this, because I know I've had my troubles in the past where I've wanted to see a therapist, but I couldn't afford to see a therapist. So maybe you guys can work the situation out amongst yourselves. I don't know if you guys are religious or if you go to church, but if you do, maybe you can speak with your pastor. They may not charge you, to just have a couple conversations with them, or they may try to. That ain't really the route I would go, but just an alternative option. I do say, do not go to friends and family unless, with an exception of if you have a close friend or family member, who firsthand is not judgmental. Not only are they not judgmental, but they've had the same issues that you're having and they've overcame them. So don't just be like, oh yeah, my great aunt Pam, she ain't gonna judge me for nothing. I could talk to her. Don't talk to Pam unless Pam has had the same exact issues and her and her partner has overcome the issues. From your message, it doesn't seem like you and your wife has gotten over issues in the past. You say she hurt your feelings in the past, and you thought that was the reason why you couldn't get jiggy, and then you come back later and say, but then I've also noticed I can't even get jiggy with myself. So it's a difference in not wanting to be sexual in the bed and not being able to even have the thought. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like something internal. Something with you. It may not have anything to do with your partner. After you guys have a conversation and play a game or talk about it or talk it out, it still may not even help what's going on inside of you. And you didn't disclose the things that your wife said about you. So I don't know if she, made fun of maybe your body or made you feel less than, or if she was mentally abusive to you. I'm not sure the details, so I don't want to assume. I'm not even going to. But it was something that she said, whether it was one time or 50 times, whether it was about the same thing or different things every single time. There was something that she said that triggered you and made you very uncomfortable. If you guys have not already discussed and gotten over whatever it was that she said, to where you actually was able to sit down and say, okay, I forgive you. I took it in a way that you didn't mean it. I was a little sensitive at the time, and I didn't take it as a joke. And if she's apologized, like, I didn't mean it like that, or I didn't think that really bothered you, or whatever the case may be, I think that is the first step. Whatever's going on internally has to be healed, even if it has nothing to do with your wife. I don't know any past traumas or if you have any childhood or past traumas, but a lot of the times, once you heal yourself within, these things like no sexual desire, it doesn't exist. Not sometimes. Now, I'm not a therapist, so I can't give you real professional advice. And again, I hate to keep try and get some therapy, go and get some therapy. But to be honest, a little bit of therapy is needed for everybody. There's not a perfect soul in this world. Just a little bit of therapy. I feel like if everybody got a little bit of therapy, the world would be a better place. But we're not talking about the world. We talking about you not having any sexual desire, and not only for your wife, but just period. If you can't please yourself, if you and mama not on one accord, there's definitely something internal that you will have to heal. And maybe that's something you wanted to keep to yourself and you didn't want to share in this message, but I'm sure you listening to me, you probably can pinpoint what it is. And it's okay if you can't. It's okay if you can't pinpoint what it is. But I guarantee you, you might have a better idea of where the sexual desire, not having any sexual desire, you'll have a better idea of where that's coming from once you talk to your wife. I'm pretty damn sure. And it's probably something that you don't even know about her that she will be willing to share in that conversation. And who knows, that connection in that conversation about sex just may get the sex flowing. You said that your wife has abandonment issues with her mom. And the last thing I think you would want your partner to feel is abandoned by you. And people are different, okay? No one is the same. So I think this conversation is also necessary because you not having a desire for her and her having a desire for you and wanting to, get jiggy, and you're turning it down. Or if you're trying, you're not really there. If you're moaning, they're fake. Your partner feels and knows all of that. And we don't want your partner to feel like, well, damn, she ain't getting it from me, then where the hell she getting it from, Because that's not always the case. People love to think that if you're not getting it from me, you're getting it from somebody. But the truth of the matter is, in this case, you can't even get it from your damn self, So we don't want thoughts to go left. We don't want your wife to feel like you're abandoning her in the bedroom or in the relationship because she already has abandonment issues. So the sooner, the better. And just let her know. Reassure her during the whole conversation, whether you play the game or you don't play the game. Reassure her that you are all I want, you are all I need. If that's your true feeling, don't be lying, but if that's your true feeling, you're all I want, you're all I need. There's something in me that won't let us proceed. It's no better way to put it. I feel like I need some type of help, I don't know how y'all get down in the bedroom, but if your wife is the type of person where sometimes she does the foreplay thing and sometimes she doesn't, and lately she just been wanting to get right to it, like lately she just been trying to get it in and be done, maybe you guys should incorporate foreplay if you're into that, because I don't really know what you're into either. If you're into that and that has not been happening, let's work our way up to sex. Let's kiss a little longer, let's touch a little longer. Don't know if y'all into it or not. I don't know. I don't want to say everybody do the same stuff or they get down the same way, but if you guys use a strap, incorporate something different. Get you a jackrabbit, get you a rose, get you a bullet, get you a butt plug, get you something different. Try it. You may not like it, but you guys experimenting each other could build some excitement. If you guys are into it, watch movies, get on X together, not separate, together. You can make that a game. It don't even have to be sex. You can turn on a video and simply say, put me in that position. No sex involved. Just put me in that position. You think you can get me in that position, or can I get you in that position, or flip flop? Just fun play in the bed. Light some candles. Put on some good music, whether that's trap music, whether that's oldies, whether that's 2000 R&B, whatever y'all into. Turn on some music. Get some love dice. You know what I'm saying? Roll them love dice. Whatever it say you got to do, you got to do it. But if you guys are in a place where you're not in the mood, there's nothing that's triggering. You've tried to play games. You've tried to watch videos with your partner. You've tried to play bedroom games with your partner. You tried to talk to your partner. Nothing is working. Then that is when I would say, see if your insurance covers it, and then try and get some professional help. All right. What y'all think about it? Y'all let her know in the comment section. What are y'all thoughts? Have you guys been in something similar with the person where you are attracted to them, you're madly in love with them, but you have no desire to go there? Let her know in the comments what she can do to change it, how to spice some stuff up. Did y'all do the whipped cream type ordeal type thing, with a little caramel, a little chocolate, some cherries, you know what I'm saying? Some spicy. What did y'all do to build that desire back up? Help us out in the comments, all right? If you have a story, a secret, or even a confession that you would like to share here on Qing's Anonymous, please send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email to my email address. Let's get active, y'all. That's it for today. This is Qing's Anonymous. Hey King Day, I'm 31 and my wife is 32. We've been together for over 2 years and married for 4 months. We both brought each other out of depression. I was lonely and a workaholic when I met her, and she had alcoholic tendencies and abandonment issues with her mom. Throughout our relationship, occasionally she would get drunk and talk shit, hurting my feelings. We would talk about it and move past it, but I think it has affected my desire to be physically intimate with her. Before we got married, she got a DUI and decided it was time to make a change. She has remained sober for the most part unless we were on vacation and I was in charge of cutting her off at a predefined limit. We haven't had a problem with alcohol in about a year. Throughout the clarity and sobriety, she is noticing my disinterest in sex. I don't mind pleasing her, but it's almost like I'm never in the mood for her to return the favor, and I really don't get aroused, which is completely different from the past. I honestly don't know what to tell her. I don't get turned on as much anymore, but I still love her and I want to be with her. To be honest, I'm not even sure what's wrong. At first, I thought it was because of our past drama, me thinking too much about the things she said and internalizing. But I've noticed it's not the same when I try to handle business on my own either. What should I do? Should I tell her? I don't want her to feel like it's her fault or I'm not attracted to her. I was thinking about going to a doctor because Google said it's female erectile dysfunction, or maybe a sex therapist. What are your thoughts? Thank you.
Run it up was up. Yeah, bitch, go not know where was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.